Good evening from InvestSharp.com. This is Randy Smotone with your Friday, January the 14th market update. So obviously we had a really good day in the market, especially in the financials. Some of the semis, some of them were really flying, and so it was a pretty impressive day and closed well also. So that was pretty bullish. So the dollar, gold, and silver were down today. Copper and oil were up. Light sweet crude futures were up 14 cents to settle at $91.54 a barrel. So look at the dollar. I mean, we could have some support somewhere, right? Somewhere around this level. It's been an area of resistance, congestion. We'll see. I mean, it's had a lot of selling back to here, but it seems like it's trying to hold around here. So we'll see if the dollar continues to trend lower, or if it's going to have a little stability here. Over to the West Texas Intermediate Crude Point and Figure chart, which is not what I have pulled up right now. So of course the bullish price objective on oil, 105 a barrel. That's not changed, and we're right up here. We have a little double top breakout once we move higher, but of course no change there. That's looking good. Take a look at the Russell. Russell did have the largest percent gain today, and probably, I mean, it's still moving within this channel. It's wedge, a little bit of a wedge possibly forming, and of course we're not. We've been every time we get up here, we pull back at least a little bit. Right, came all the way down this time, and we're not quite there yet again. So we'll see where it goes. The MACD is lower here than it was here, but that can trend that way for a while. So the Russell was looking good. Take a look at the S&P. So the S&P, so we did take out from where we touched here. We touched up here. I know I have double trend lines here. It's a little confusing. Right, touched here. Now we took that out and broke out higher today. But then now if you draw a trend line from this high and then that high, then we right up against right into this trend line resistance. So we'll see where we go. I still think on the S&P, and I've talked about this before, closer to around the 1300 level. I know this is a weekly. Let me get down to a daily right through here. Okay, so if you go back, and this dates back into 2008, right? So somewhere around this 1300 level, there's 1305 is probably our next real level of resistance. So looks like we're pretty much headed there. So that looked good. NASDAQ breaking higher, looking real strong. And then the Dow, which was the weakest. It's been the 5 days in a row now that the Dow has been the weakest of the indexes, and of course it was still up, obviously 0.47%, but has been lagging. Not as near as much interest here in the big Dow 30 stocks. Volume was actually less than average daily volume today. It was a decent volume, but it was less than average when you look at the SPY, the Qs, the IWM, and the diamonds. That's what I'm looking at, DIA. So it was a little bit less than average. So let's take a look at GLD. So GLD, of course, broke down here, tested here. So we've got another area of possible support here. Obviously, a lot of selling. MACD still pointed down. Look at SLV. Also, headed lower. Let me look at the moving averages here. So we did get caught by the 50-day here. So we are holding the 50 on SLV, at least for now. Copper moving back higher. Now we haven't, copper is not at its 52-week high here, right? This was here, so we'll see where we go from here, see if we take this out, but we are a little bit lower for now. But copper is holding up really well. Volatility index, no volatility. Right out, really low. See if we, we've been here once before. Could get a little bounce possibly around this area. I now have to go out even further. Let me guess here. All right, so we have bounced around this level. Bounced. Doesn't mean we will early next week, but we could. Remember, the market is closed Monday for Martin Luther King holiday, so market will not be open on Monday. And then the Euro, FXE. Still having some problems overcoming this trend line level here. It's been some resistance for it. Did close above the 50 today, but does have a little resistance there. Then while we're at it, let's go. I'll take a look at the. Now let's look at the GDX first. So if you look at the gold miners ETF, GDX, you go all the way out. Right, this is on a weekly chart, so we've got some support here. We'll see if the miners can hold. A few of them actually got a little bit of a bounce today. So, you know, this goes out to 2008. This is 2009, June 2010. So we have support. We also touched and touched and touched. So we've got some uptrend line support. So let's see if the gold continues lower or the miners, either one. Miners do have some support here possibly because we do have support on the GDX. Take a look at GLD. GLD also, now this is if you just draw it across the lowest lows, right, from here, way out here, and right, we're not quite there yet, but we do have a trend line support on the weekly on GLD as well. Now SLV is a different story. I mean, it's kind of been just here has been parabolic up here, and this is on the weekly, right? 5-year weekly. There's really no, I mean, it may hold up here, I don't know, but there's nothing nothing really, not a lot of support maybe when you get down into this area here, but SLV does not have the really anything to go by as far as that much support like the gold miner GDX ETF and the GLD gold ETF. And take a look here at the S&P, the E-mini futures. This is a 1-hour chart, 10-day 1 hour. I had talked about where we had, you know, January 3rd we'd hit, came down. January 6th we hit, came down. Right, all through here. This is the 13th, and then of course today we did break out above the trend line. So we are above that trend line. Right, so we did have a nice little breakout there. So let's go take a look at the McClellan oscillator. Take a look at the NYSE McClellan. So still very neutral, 10.83, so we're not overbought, not oversold. And same here for the NASDAQ in the middle here. This would be overbought, down in here would be oversold. Take a look at the sectors. So 14 to 16 sectors we follow finish in the green. The home construction index had the largest percent gain, up 3.1%. The gold index was the weakest for the 3rd day in a row, and it was down 1.77% today. Of course, on Fridays I don't do a chart watch because I'll post a weekly watch list on Sunday evening. So economic data next week. Of course, Monday markets close. Kick off Tuesday with the Empire State Manufacturing Survey at 8:30. Then we're going to get the Treasury International Capital number at 9 a.m. and then the Housing Market Index at 10 a.m. Of course, that's all in Eastern Time. And take a look at there at the market signals. No change here. And in fact, you can't even see it, right? So there's no change here. The all on buys, of course, and the price objective didn't change. I mean, we actually didn't. The Dow didn't have that big of a day, actually. I mean, as far as number of points, obviously, it wasn't like we had a 150-point up day or anything, because we didn't, or whatever. But all looking good, and a lot of the stuff closing on its high, so we're looking pretty bullish, at least unless some kind of news comes out over the weekend, of course. Looking pretty bullish into Tuesday. All right, so that is all I have for today. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.